saw a posting from Andy Mangum, who is our regional president, or regional minister and president for the Texas and Oklahoma and New Mexico region, that asked about us displaying on our Facebook page a song that had relevance, spiritual relevance in each one of our lives. So I thought for a moment, and he said it doesn't have to be a religious tune. So that kind of opened the gates for me to think about other tunes. And one of the songs that came to my mind immediately was Shenandoah. And the reason why that had a profound influence on my life is that when I grew up, I spent a lot of time living in my grandmother's home in Seattle. And she was a woman who had raised 6 children on her own and had actually been married twice. Her first husband was a World War I soldier, and after the war, he died in that big Asian flu that went around the world and killed so many people. And in fact, my grandmother lost her husband and 2 of her brothers in the same week. And also in that same week, gave birth to her first daughter. Imagine. Her hair turned completely white in 1 month. And her second husband was a little bit short of a load, and she ended up having to leave him. And she moved her 6 children herself out to Seattle, Washington from Fort Pierce, South Dakota, and worked for the Boeing Airplane Company from 1940 until 1965, and retired as the superintendent of the Boeing cafeteria in Seattle, Washington, right there at Boeing Field, where they could feed 4,000 people at one time. So she had a lot of responsibility, not only professionally, but in her personal life as well, having raised 6 children. And for her 4 sons that she had, all went into World War II. I have a picture of them in uniform, and thank God they all came back alive. And so that was quite an experience. So when she passed away in 1979, I played Shenandoah at her funeral. The second song came to my mind because John Denver was a wonderful human being that I had the privilege to work with in Reno, actually in Lake Tahoe. And when I first went to Aspen, Colorado, I spent the summer down there one summer. I first went down there before that, and that was when John Denver's songs were all big time. Annie's song was one of them. And then later on, when I actually got hired to play with John Denver, imagine sitting on the stage, you're going to play with John Denver, and you're thinking to yourself, never in a million years would I have thought of ever sitting on the same stage with John Denver. And when we played Annie's song and he sang Annie's song, one of the things that I'll never forget was the showroom that we were in held about 1,500 people. And as he sang Annie's song, you could hear people in the audience. In fact, practically the whole audience was singing along with him. And so that was a memory that had some serious spiritual significance in my life. So here we go, Shenandoah and Annie's song.